Hello, and welcome to my full show review of WWE Royal Rumble 2024. It's going to be a long one, lots of detail in these ones, because I do sort of go through the Royal Rumble matches as best I can. So let's get the show on the road. The show kicked off with a Hulk Hogan video package. Ugh. It's a good video package, but, you know, screw Hulk Hogan unconditionally. Like, hate that guy, never going to change my mind on that. He's a scumbag. He should not be given a platform. The end. If you disagree, like, yes, he did a lot for wrestling history, but, you know, he's not benefiting wrestling, he's just benefiting himself, and he does not deserve that, so screw him. Then, a nice surprise to the evening, Pat McAfee was going to be on commentary. They do milk this return a lot, but I do generally enjoy him on commentary. His enthusiasm, his energy is very infectious. It makes the show feel more enjoyable, honestly. And we were kicking the show off proper with the Women's Royal Rumble match. Out first was Natalya, who I believe was in the first two in my match simulation of the Women's Royal Rumble. Correct me if I'm wrong. Over on EBEZAsimsgames. Go check it out. See who the game thought was going to win. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she entered second in that. And then, out second, Naomi. Now, I don't know if she's back or if it was just like a Mickie James type deal, as I called it at the time. And Michael Cole on commentary said she's back. And there was a welcome back chant, and they were talking a lot about her being back. Not like making an appearance, not being a TNA knockout, etc., etc. And they did mention her having won the TNA Knockouts World Championship while she was away, though, which I really like that about WWE now, is they don't try to exist in a vacuum. They acknowledge other places exist and use that to elevate the people in their own company, which is the correct way to do it, in my opinion. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you know the deal with Naomi. Is she back? Was it a one-off and she's still Trinity in TNA? I don't know. Out third was Bayley, my pick in my predictions video, and a lot of people's picks. I don't think that was a particularly hot take. Fourth was Candice LeRae. Fifth was Jordynne Grace, the current Knockouts World Champion in TNA. I really enjoyed the commentary line. I think it was Graves and Pat McAfee said, Jordynne Grace has muscles in places you don't even have places, which just really tickled me. It was a great line. So yeah, another massive surprise in the Women's Rumble, having Jordynne Grace in there. Like, Mickie James kind of made sense that time. Like, as much as it was a huge deal to have her with her TNA music, her Impact music, I should say at the time, her Impact Championship, etc., It was still fairly logical, because they'd released so many women, they had barely any to fill out the Rumble, and Mickie James has a long history with WWE, so it makes sense that they would reach out and come to some sort of agreement over Mickie James. Jordynne Grace, on the other hand, as far as I know, has never appeared on WWE TV. I believe she's done some mocap for the video game, but she's never, like, actually been on WWE TV that I know of. So that was quite the surprise, and I was pleased to see Jordynne Grace there. Out sixth was Indy Hartwell. During the time between Indy Hartwell coming out and the next entrant, Michael Cole claimed, "We've never had two winners, but we did go to overtime one year." Clearly, Michael Cole didn't watch my recent watch-along of the 1994 Royal Rumble on its 30th anniversary, where there were two winners, Michael Cole. That happened. It's still on the WWE Network, or Peacock, or whatever your international version is, for people to watch, you idiot. Out seventh was Asuka. Bayley seemed like a bit unhappy, a bit confused, a bit tentative to enjoy Asuka's entrant into the Rumble. Obviously, it was a surprise to Bayley, but she did save her a couple of times, and she made the save and eliminated Indy Hartwell, who became the first woman eliminated this year. Out eighth was Ivy Nile. At some point, I just made a note that Bayley invited Michael Cole into the ring. I love Bayley just trolling Michael Cole constantly. I love it. It's one of my favourite interactions. Like, I imagine they get on really well behind the scenes and do it as a bit of a running gag, but it's just phenomenal. Out ninth was Katana Chance. We had a double delayed vertical suplex. Jordynne Grace holding up Katana Chance and Ivy Nile holding up Candice LeRae. But I think both women were capable of holding that for a lot longer. I'm not sure why they didn't. It would have got more impressive the longer they held it for, to be perfectly honest. But, guess not. Speaking of impressive strength, out 10th was Bianca Belair. And once again, Bayley did save Asuka in this time period. Out 11th was Kairi Sane. So 3 Damage Control members in the ring at this point. And, like, obvious tension in there between them. I thought it was played off really well. It wasn't hammed up too much, but it was, you know, it was still apparent, and I like that. They teamed up to eliminate Candice LeRae. So The Way became the first 2 eliminatees in this year's Rumble. 12th was Tegan Nox. Natty saved Nox from an elimination. I forgot to write down who was trying to eliminate her. They had a hug. Then Natalya tried to eliminate Tegan Nox. Nox reversed, eliminates Natty, and then Bayley comes up behind and eliminates Tegan Nox. And I just put, this just makes Natalya look dumb. Commentary were talking about the experience of Natalya. They are 12 people into a 30-woman Royal Rumble, and Natalya is already turning on her tag team partner when there's a team of 3 in there. Like, it just makes Natalya look dumb. It's dumb booking. And for someone that experienced, they shouldn't be booking her to not understand how the business works. Like, I just did not enjoy the spot because it didn't serve to make anyone look good. It just made Natalya look stupid, quite honestly. Nox didn't really get much out of reversing and eliminating Natalya. Bayley, sure, she got an elimination out of it, but, like, you know, it was a from behind elimination. She got to look dastardly, I guess. But I feel like Bayley's turning face before WrestleMania, so that wouldn't be my main objective in life at the moment, would be to make Bayley look dastardly. Out next was Kaden Carter. There was a weird spot with Kairi Sane where she was like, I thought eliminated, but apparently she kept her feet on the board, but I'm sure her feet actually touched the floor before she kind of lifted them up and managed to grip herself on there. It's a really awkward spot. I don't know if she was supposed to somehow get back into the ring from there and just couldn't. I can't imagine how she would possibly have done it, or if it was just a spot for the sake of a spot, and then she was always supposed to fall off. I really don't know, but she did eventually fall off her little perch on the video board. So I guess Carter gets the elimination for that, because I think she was the one who originally threw Kairi Sane over. But I don't know if it was botched or not. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I'm just curious. But soon after, Chance and Carter eliminated Asuka, so I have a feeling Kairi Sane was meant to go then, and both Damage Control tag team champions were supposed to be eliminated, I guess. That was met with a chorus of boos, by the way. More on that in a short while. So Kairi Sane and Asuka were the 5th and 6th respectively to be eliminated. Bayley was not happy about that, and the crowd weren't either. Big Bayley chants at that point. Out 14th was Chelsea Green. There was some weird cut to a drone cam that was a bit awkward, didn't really work, and they soon cut back to like a normal camera view. She lasted more than 5 seconds this year, so good for her. They did ham it up a little bit where she got in and she got dragged across the other side and, you know, thrown over the top just like last year, but this time she survived. Had it happen again, but she survived again. Bianca Belair and Jordynne Grace ended up going over the top rope onto the apron, and Belair hit a KOD on Grace on the apron, which eliminated her, 7th, and the crowd booed. And this is what I was going to get back to. Bianca Belair was kind of involved in the Damage Control eliminations as well, and I feel like maybe this crowd was just being a bit anti-Bianca Belair, because the only time I really remember hearing like vociferous boos in this match was for Bianca Belair and Nia Jax. They're the only 2 times I remember hearing them. So it felt a bit targeted rather than just a general sort of, we disapprove of decisions and we're going to boo them. Out 15th was Piper Niven, who caught Chelsea Green and then teased dropping her and then just put her back on the stairs. So ended up being a nice tag partner for now. 16th was Xia Li. 17th was Zelina Vega. Can someone explain her outfit? I understand she's a big gamer, a big cosplayer, and I understand it was definitely a reference to something, but I don't know what it was. So if someone had let me know in the comments what that was a reference to, her outfit, I'd be grateful. So at some point, Caden Carter monkey flipped Katana Chance into Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, and Pat McAfee called it Hardy Boys-like, but seemed to get cut off. So maybe the Hardy Boys aren't allowed to be mentioned. Some people who aren't in WWE at the moment are allowed to be mentioned, but maybe not the Hardy Boys. I don't know. But either way, I've never seen the Hardy Boys do that, so I don't know quite what he was talking about. 18th was Maxine Dupree. At some point after Dupree came in, Michael Cole called Piper Niven Nia. Because, well, you draw your own conclusions why he got those two confused, but probably not the best look for Michael Cole there. Then Piper Niven eliminated Caden Carter, who was the 8th to go. Then Nia Jax came out, and I put, please no. I knew she was going to be in the match, but still, please no. Just, please no Nia Jax on my screen. And I know she's better than she's ever been. I understand that. Still don't want her there. Still don't enjoy her. Still don't like her. Just nothing about Nia Jax makes me want to watch. Nothing. Like, in any way, shape, or form. Her monster spot could go to someone else, simply put. So, no. Not interested. Nia Jax came in, she eliminated Xia Li, Ivy Nile, and then there was, like, some back and forth where Chelsea Green kept getting squashed by Piper Niven and or Nia Jax, like, by accident. They were going after each other, but they kept squishing Chelsea Green. It was a fair enough, like, kind of comedy spot, like, you know, Chelsea Green just being the victim here. At that point, at some point, a fan yelled something that was audible on commentary, and Pat McAfee even acknowledged it, but I don't know what the fan yelled. Let me know in the comments. And then Chelsea Green continued to get crushed some more by Niven and Jax. Out next was Shotzi, and I put a suggestion: Team Green Hair with Naomi. Let me know if you'd like to see that. I'll do a who can beat video over on EBEZAsimsgames of who could beat Team Green Hair. Then Chelsea Green was, well, I put Chelsea Green eliminated, because she was on the floor on the outside when Shotzi made her entrance, but I didn't see what happened to her. Then there was we had the obligatory, everyone teams up to try and eliminate Nia Jax spot. This time Nia Jax kind of, like, threw her arms up and everyone got sort of blasted away from her like it's an anime. And then there were loud boos, and I'm not convinced it's heel heat. I think a lot of people hold my opinion on Nia Jax, which is we just don't want to see her. It's not that we want to see her get a comeuppance, we want to see her lose. You know, heel heat, it's go away heat. We just don't want her here. Sorry, it's just how I feel. Bailey eliminated Maxine Dupree, which I put is that the 11th, because it could have been the 12th if Chelsea Green was eliminated off camera. Then Nia Jax eliminated Piper Niven. And who was it? Someone on commentary, it might have been Corey Graves, said Chelsea and Piper, thanks for coming. So even commentary thought Chelsea Green might have been eliminated. But so I put, I guess Chelsea Green is gone. And then Nia Jax, like, press slammed Katana Chance above her head and launched her at some people that had just been eliminated at ringside for the 13th or 14th elimination. Out next was, depending on Chelsea Green, out next was Becky Lynch, and I put please eliminate Nia. Then Green was back in the match, so I guess not eliminated, so that means there was definitely 13 gone. And then Becky Lynch eliminated Chelsea Green, really patronisingly, like she threw her over the top rope, realised that Chelsea Green had held on with one hand onto the rope and was stood there, and she just kind of calmly unpicked her fingers off the rope, patted her on the head, and then just shoved her off the apron, like by her forehead. It was it's very mean, honestly. Not being a star there, Becky Lynch. Out 22nd was Alba Fire, very briefly accompanied by Isla Dawn, so I'm happy. And then Alba Fire came to the ring. Isla Dawn did not, unfortunately. Is she injured at the moment, Isla Dawn? Why was only one of the team in the match? I'm not sure. Anyway, out 23rd was Shayna Baszler. Out 24th was Valhalla, which Michael Cole popped hard for her wearing her antlers. And then R-Truth's music hit. Gets in the ring, asks where are all the guys, and then gets eliminated, quote unquote, by Nia Jax. Brilliant. I love R-Truth. He's a national treasure. Please, everyone protect him. I absolutely love that man. And then Valhalla got in and was eliminated by Nia Jax, presumably because she was so distracted. So she now ties Chelsea Green for the quickest elimination from a Women's Royal Rumble match. And she was furious at Truth. So I'm guessing we're going to get Ivar versus R-Truth in the coming weeks. Maybe even as soon as tomorrow on Raw, to be honest. Out 25th was Michin. Her name is Mia Yim. Mia Yim is great. I don't know why she has to be referred to as Michin. I think it's my second least favourite renaming after Butch. Naomi eliminated Alba Fire, and then Bayley started abusing Michael Cole again. That's my notes from Mia Yim's time as the newest entrant in the Rumble. Out next was Zoe Stark at 26. She teamed up with Shayna Baszler with like a powerbomb Enziguri combo to eliminate Zelina Vega, who went out 17th. Out 27th was Roxanne Perez. Now, Roxanne Perez's big surprise call-up, or, you know, a surprise appearance, was spoiled because in the opening video segment, there was a shot of Randy Orton walking around the stadium, you know, taking it all in and getting himself psyched up and what have you. And they were test running Roxanne Perez's Titantron behind him. Clear as day. So obviously they were test running that because they were planning on running that during the show, and there's only one women's match. So you do the maths. So they kind of spoiled their own surprise, but, you know, whatever. It was still fun. Nia Jax eliminated Shayna Baszler, then Mia Yim. I was going to say her WWE name, but no, we're going to call her Mia Yim. And Shotzi. In reasonably quick succession. They were 18, 19, and 20, respectively. Then at number 28, Jade Cargill finally makes her actual proper debut in a match. Big pop for Jade Cargill, honestly. And I put a debut win would be wild. And honestly, not beyond the realms of possibility. Like, I didn't think it was going to happen, but I wouldn't have been that surprised either. So Jade Cargill showed off her strength a bit against Nia Jax and then did the Cesaro on Big Show, Andre the Giant Battle Royal elimination. If you guys remember, I think that was WrestleMania 30, actually, the first one I went to. So 10 years ago this year, where he sort of picked him up in a body slam, then walked over to the ropes and slammed him. Very impressive. Honestly, Cargill's version was a bit less impressive. She seemed to actually struggle with it. But she got it done, so that's what matters. So Nia Jax was the 21st eliminated. And then for some reason, I mean, I know Becky Lynch hates Nia Jax, but she was celebrating with Jade Cargill like she'd had anything to do with that, which seemed weird. 29th was Tiffany Stratton, also of NXT. And she started the match, or her part of the match, with a nice swanton onto a crowd of women in the ring. Like, she climbed up she just climbed the steps, walked up the steps, climbed up the turnbuckle, and did a swanton onto a bunch of people. I don't know who was in the crowd. It was a bunch of people. And out 30th was Liv Morgan. And I have two words, and if you watched, and you know. The two words are good grief. So Liv Morgan came in, I'd say no more. She eliminated Zoe Stark, then Tiffany Stratton eliminated Roxanne Perez, and we're down to 7 remaining, and I've missed an elimination in my notes, but it was because I put numbers next to all the eliminations. I didn't put one next to Nia Jax's, so I fixed that. So yeah, my notes were right. I hadn't missed an elimination. I'd just not written a number next to one of them. Anyway, so Bianca Belair, like, gorilla pressed Liv Morgan above her head, and Jade Cargill did the same to Becky Lynch above her head, and then they sort of came face to face. That was fun, and then they dropped them and squared up, and then they were interrupted by Tiffany Stratton and Bayley. So WWE teasing that does make me think that that would be a huge WrestleMania match. Imagine you don't need a title involved, just Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair would be awesome. I would be all for that. Then, let me see, Jade Cargill eliminated Naomi, who lasted right from the start to the 25th elimination, so great return performance for Naomi. Bayley eliminated Bianca Belair and Tiffany Stratton after a painful looking braid spot. So basically, they both ended up on the apron, and then Tiffany Stratton got, like, knocked off, but she grabbed Bianca Belair's braid and, like, leaned off with her feet still on the apron, and Bianca still on the apron with all her weight. Like, her head was like nearly on the floor, so she was like fully leaned back, and just supporting herself by Bianca Belair's hair, which obviously I assume is strong enough. But the thing is, Bianca Belair's neck was at like quite an awkward looking angle. It was like she kind of got pulled sideways a bit. Did not look comfortable at all. Looked pretty horrible. But fortunately, Belair was saved by Bayley, who kicked her off the apron and eliminated both her and Stratton. So we're down to a final 3. There was no final 4. We went straight to a 3 because we went from the final 5 to those two getting eliminated simultaneously. So we had Liv Morgan, Bayley, and Jade Cargill. At one point, all 3 were on the apron, and then Liv Morgan hit like a version of the Oblivion on Jade Cargill and just clean eliminated her. Like Oblivioned her off the apron. It was a cool spot. I'm just surprised that like Jade Cargill was eliminated by one person, clean as a whistle, like not ganged up on to be protected or anything. Like, so honestly, it's kind of a big trophy for Liv Morgan. Like, I think maybe there's a chance that we get Jade Cargill versus Liv Morgan, and Jade Cargill kind of destroys Liv, unfortunately, you know, as revenge for that, and then we go to her and Bianca Belair, quite possibly. I that's how I would book it. Put it that way. That's how I would book it. But immediately after the Oblivion, Bayley, who'd re-entered the ring, ran over and just yeeted Liv Morgan off the apron and won. So I was 1 from 1 on predictions, and I put, hell yeah, I'm looking forward to this build, predicting that it's going to go Bayley versus Io Sky, as I mentioned in my predictions video. I don't think she's actually going to move to Raw and take on Rhea Ripley. I think Damage Control is going to oust her, or there's going to be too much friction and she's going to oust herself. I prefer that, to be perfectly honest. I'm not a fan of the trope where a heel group kicks someone out and suddenly they're a babyface. Suddenly everyone likes them. No, they were a scumbag. They just were kicked out of the group by other scumbags. That doesn't mean we should automatically like them. But it's just a trope in wrestling. So I hope Bayley actually kind of sees the light and turns her own back on Damage Control, but we'll see how it plays out. I'm looking forward to Bayley versus Io Sky. I mean, Bayley versus Rhea Ripley would be great as well, but I'm really looking forward to Bayley and Sky. And apparently, according to commentary, this is going to be Bayley's first ever singles match at WrestleMania? What? I mean, I'd say that can't be right, but I can't think of one. So, will someone let me know in the comments? Like, is that right? What has Bayley done at WrestleMania all these years, if not singles matches? Like, that is crazy disrespect. Bayley's amazing. Like, everything. Great on the mic. Great character work. Great charisma. Great in-ring. Like, just great. So dependable. So reliable. Like, A-grade performances as a bare minimum. How has she not had a singles match at WrestleMania? That's just disgraceful. Anyway. Up next was the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match. Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight challenging, of course, Roman Reigns. There was a lot of Orton thirst on commentary during his entrance, and to be honest, perfectly well-deserved. Michael Cole made a comment about his thighs being as thick as Michael Cole's waist. Maybe your waist in 2001, Michael Cole. But yeah, honestly, well-deserved. Randy Orton is just a hunk of a man, Jesus. And then out comes AJ Styles, who is in incredible shape as well. Like, my goodness. Manly. Then what happened? I don't know. Oh, yeah, apparently Michael Cole and Corey Graves were claiming on commentary to have known AJ Styles for 2 decades, which AJ Styles was in WCW. I don't think he was signed over to WWF when they bought WCW. Again, correct me on any of this if I'm wrong. And then immediately went to, like, Indies and, well, back to Indies and then over to TNA, Ring of Honor, whichever one he showed up in first. Yeah, I don't know when they would have really crossed paths 20 years ago, because that's 2004, which isn't long after that happened, and he was firmly cemented in TNA by then. But, you know, I know the whole wrestling world's connected. I just don't know why Michael Cole would have any cause to cross paths with AJ Styles. And I didn't know Corey Graves went back that far. So, yeah, weird claims. I guess they have no reason to lie about it, but I'm still kind of doubting it. It just seems to not line up. Pat McAfee made a great comment, which was AJ Styles has had 3 Hall of Fame careers. I love him for that. Like, absolutely. TNA, Hall of Fame worthy. New Japan might have been a relatively short run, but Hall of Fame worthy. And then WWE, only his WWE run is Hall of Fame worthy. Like, genuinely, like, so good. Like, incredible. One of the all-timers, AJ Styles, absolutely. Then we got, before the other two entrances, we got a Slim Jim ad with LA Knight and Bianca Belair. And just a quick comment on this, and then we'll move on. I guess getting rid of McMahon again worked, because there was rumours that Slim Jim were, after the allegations, were just pulling sponsorship unless Vince McMahon went, and then other sponsors were apparently going to follow suit. So good for them. That's it. That's my thought on the matter. Good for Slim Jim. Screw Vince McMahon. Moving on. I put Orton and Styles looked ridiculous. I didn't mean that in a bad way. There's a thirsty emote after it in my notes. My God. Like, I'm straight, but my God. And then the introductions were fun, because all three were, like, squaring up to Reigns, and Orton's square up was super intense, like, well acted out by Orton. Like, yeah, just great stuff. At the start of the match, all three challengers ganged up on Reigns briefly, but it quickly descended into, like, a proper four-way. LA Knight had a fun spot on the outside where he was, like, basketballing AJ Styles' head off the announce table repeatedly. Then he ended up doing it to Orton. That was fun. I just put this was a really fun fatal four-way in general. There was a blunt force trauma to Roman Reigns. I missed what happened to AJ Styles. I glanced away from my screen, but he was, like, out on his feet and fell on the pin to break it up when LA Knight could have beaten Reigns. And then a little later, Styles hit the Styles Clash on Reigns, and LA Knight broke up the pin as well. There was a concerning bit where Orton was favouring his shoulder. We all know Orton's history with shoulder injuries. I don't know if it was supposed to be like a kayfabe injury, if he was really bothered. But I didn't see people, like, super targeting it, which makes me think it wasn't a kayfabe injury. It was maybe... And I hope he doesn't have to have any more time off. He's literally just come back after, 18 months off? Like, I hope Orton's good. So he was setting up for an RKO, Randy Orton was, and wincing when he bashed his hand into the mat. Like, not good signs. But then in the background, you see AJ Styles setting up a phenomenal forearm. But then as he pops up to the top rope, Randy Orton catches him and kind of diamond cutters him, to be honest. They called it an RKO, but he had hold of his head and then sort of launched himself into the cutter. It was a lot more diamond cutter-esque, but it was very cool. Kind of nice to see it different than just the standard catch into an RKO, because we've seen that a million times, so it's nice to see it done a bit different. Then he hit an RKO on LA Knight, then he hit an RKO on Roman Reigns, and then went for the pin, but then Solo Sikoa pulled the referee out at the 2 count and dropped him on the floor, so the referee was out of action for a bit, which he didn't need to be, because it's no DQ, but he was. After that, we had a Samoan spike to Orton from Solo, then one to LA Knight, and then he stacked them up. If the referee, I guess that's why you need the referee to be down, because the referee could have counted them both down and called them both the winners, because, I mean, technically, I guess LA Knight was on top of Orton. Yeah, LA Knight was on top of Orton. Now, his shoulders were down as well, but Orton had no downward pressure on Knight, so I guess it wouldn't count as a pin. So, yeah, LA Knight could have just won the match there if the referee was awake, because he was on him for way more than 3 seconds. He went after AJ Styles next, Solo Sikoa did, but as he tried to put Styles through the barricade, he moved, and Solo put himself through the barricade. Then Styles hit the phenomenal forearm on Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns, like, landed on the stack, but he didn't manage to get his shoulders down. But Styles tried to pin the whole stack. I guess at least Orton and LA Knight had the shoulders down. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf says. And the referee was back to count it. But now commentary said all 3 men kicked out. But what I saw was Randy Orton kick out so forcefully that he threw the other 2 off him and lifted both their shoulders up. Like, that's what I saw. I didn't see those 2 move independently of that. I just saw Orton, like, kick out on behalf of all 3. And I think that's actually cooler, to be honest. So I'm sticking with what I think I saw. A little bit later in the match, we had Reigns hit a spear on Orton. But then LA Knight grabbed Reigns, hit his back suplex, the off-the-ropes elbow drop, went for the BFT, but Reigns shoved him off. And at that moment, AJ Styles was trying to springboard in, probably for a phenomenal forearm. So LA Knight hit the rope, knocked AJ off the rope, rebounds, gets hit with a Superman punch, Reigns hits the ropes, hits AJ with the spear, and pins him for the 3. So, relatively clean. There was a little bit of Solo shenanigans, but relatively clean retain for Reigns. And I predicted it because, I mean, who honestly didn't? Was anyone predicting anyone but Roman Reigns here? Like, tell me who these people are. But yeah, so I'm 2 from 2. Up next, we had the United States Championship match. Kevin Owens challenging Logan Paul. And I love Owens, but no way he wins here. Good detail, Owens was fighting the whole match lefty because of obviously the injury to his hand and he couldn't wear his cast. And then it was re-injured on SmackDown by Logan Paul. I put Logan Paul as such a natural. Like, he's a dislikable human being, like, to say the very least. But in terms of wrestling ability, there's no denying he is a natural talent at this. And Owens is like an all-timer for me. Like, just like AJ Styles, absolute all-timers, will go down in history with like the Randy Savages, you know, the like, because they both had world title runs, so they've not been like completely held down. But like, they were never the guy for WWE, but they probably should have been. Like, I think they're in the Randy Savage category of just all-timers that were never quite handed the ball fully. But, you know, is what it is. They both seem to be happy. That's what matters at the end of the day. Anyway, back to this. So, Logan Paul worked the hand a bit in this match, obviously. There was a fun spot, because obviously on commentary, Corey Graves told Logan Paul not to try to superplex Kevin Owens because he's never seen anyone succeed, because he always does that spinning superplex counter. Logan Paul got up for the suplex and yelled at Corey Graves, "You told me not to try this, I'm going to show you it's possible." And then Kevin Owens reversed it and did his spinning superplex. So yeah, I enjoyed that, I'm not going to lie. Kevin Owens kicked out the KO punch after saying, you know, on the KO show, "You can't hit me hard enough to keep me down for 3, never mind knock me out." He actually kicked out the KO punch, the titanium hand, so that was fun. Then Jeff showed up. I don't know who Jeff is. I assume he's off Logan Paul's podcast or he's one of his cronies. But Jeff showed up. So hi, Jeff. He was immediately ejected. Then Austin Theory and Grayson Waller came out to protest or whatever, and Austin Theory gave brass knucks to Logan Paul, which does beg the question why Jeff needed to be there. Because if Austin Theory had the knucks all along, unless he got them off Jeff and I missed that, but if Austin Theory had the knucks anyway, those two could have just come out. You know? So yeah, but Logan Paul got rolled up and then Owens grabbed him, took the knucks off him, put the knucks on, knocked him out with the punch. Didn't take the knucks off. Rookie move, Owens. Rookie move from such an experienced guy. You're supposed to tuck them into your underpants, put them next to your penis. Because... the referee counted 1, 2, and then with absolute 20/20 vision that even the commentators were like, "Oh, now you can see things." The referee, like, zoomed in with his eyes on the brass knucks on Kevin Owens' hand, pointed at them, went, "Tut, tut, tut, naughty, naughty," and rang the bell and disqualified Owens. So Logan Paul won by DQ. I predicted Logan Paul to win. I predicted it wouldn't be clean. I got this right, let's be honest. So 3 out of 3. Booyah! But they were the 3 I was most confident with, to be fair. After the match, Kevin Owens attacked, powerbombed him through the announce table, and then stole a cough drop from the commentators, so that was fun. We had another Hogan video package, but it turned out to be an ad for St. Pete Clearwater, where this show was from. So now I don't want to visit there, because if you're willing to use Hulk Hogan in your advertising, I don't want to come to your place. I don't want to be there. I don't want your product. So good effective ad, brother. You took someone who, based on the footage they showed of like outside the stadium and stuff, I was genuinely thinking that would be a nice place to go one day. Doesn't that look lovely? Oh, Hulk Hogan endorses it. No, thank you. So good advert. Well done. You actually talked someone out of going. Hopefully other people felt the same. Then there was a WWE 2K24 ad with the weird AI Hogan and Austin things where they're talking, but the faces look like WF Warzone models with the face just stuck on the front. Like, weird. Then there was another ad. It was for Elimination Chamber this time, with Rhea Ripley obviously front and centre, because it's in Australia, and she's Australian, and very popular. It makes sense. The commentators had a brief chat, and then there was another video package, this time a promo for WrestleMania. If you're watching the Royal Rumble and you don't know WrestleMania is coming, I don't know what to tell you. How? And I just put, there's so much time wasted on these WWE PLEs. Like, this was, I didn't look at the clock, but this was like maybe 3 hours or 2.5 to 3 hours into a show, and we've had 3 matches. Now, one was a Royal Rumble that took over an hour, granted, but we've had 3 matches in like 2.5 to 3 hours, and then a load of bumps in between. And it's just so annoying, because no other show does it. I know WWE makes more money than any other show, so I guess it's working. But, like, no other show just makes the live audience wait so long in between matches. Makes the audience watching at home wait so long in between matches. And to be honest, if you are drinking and watching it with your buddies, it's probably a welcome break, because everyone can go to the bathroom and what have you, you know, break the seal, as it were, in between matches and whatnot. But I just appreciate a slightly faster pace. Like, I don't think that amount of slowing down is necessary. Oh, then we came back and they announced the attendance, which was allegedly 48,044, but we know how dishonest WWE are with attendance numbers, so your guess is as good as mine how many were actually there. At least a dozen people were there, let's just say that. That number is a new record for the Tropicana field, but who knows if it's legit or not. Then we got the usual statistics-based video package for the Men's Royal Rumble, and showtime on the main event, the Men's Royal Rumble. Out first was Jey Uso, out second was Jimmy Uso. Beautiful. Love it. Yes, you separated them to never make them work a full one-on-one match. That's fine. They clearly don't have any interest. But giving the fans a bit of Uso conflict, a bit of redemption for Jey Uso, yes, very nice. And Jey Uso perfectly sold Jimmy's music hitting. Like, perfectly. Out next was Grayson Waller, who cut a promo on his way to the ring and announced it was the Grayson Waller effect. Got on the apron, got super kicked by Jey Uso, and then Grayson Waller and Jimmy Uso teamed up on Jey Uso for a bit until Andrade came back at number 4, seemingly as a babyface. So nice to have Andrade back. I don't think he'll do anything groundbreaking, but you know, as long as he's happy to be back, that's what really matters. And when I say he won't do anything groundbreaking, I don't mean he's not talented, he's not going to have good matches. I just mean, I don't see him being like a world champion. I could see him having a couple of mid-card title reigns, maybe forming a tag team, having a tag title run, like that sort of thing. Can't see him doing anything much main event-wise. Out fifth was Carmelo Hayes, who eliminated Grayson Waller, so thanks for coming, Waller. That's the first elimination from the men's side this year. Out sixth was Shinsuke Nakamura. Out seventh was Santos Escobar, who kind of forced Andrade into a handshake, like grabbed his hand and shook it for him. And then Andrade almost eliminated Santos Escobar, so that's where he stands. Guess he is a face. Out eighth was Karrion Kross with Jessica Rabbit. Scarlett Bordeaux. Look, in black and white. I don't know what colour her hair was for this show because I think she went to the back. I didn't see her. But in the black and white entrance, where her hair could have been any colour, she looked a lot like Jessica Rabbit. A lot. So that's my commentary on Karrion Kross being in this match. Dominic Mysterio out next. He took his time getting into the ring. You know, dastardly, cowardly heel stuff. When he got in, he got suplexed by Karrion Kross. So, yeah. Carlito was out 10th. Did a bit of, you know, the hottest new member of the match, cleaning house a little bit. Then ended up on the apron with an apple in his hand, because of course he did. It was down his tights, by the way, so, you know, he took a few big bites out of penis apple, got thrown out onto the apron, and then spat it in the face of Santos Escobar, and then eliminated Santos Escobar, so Escobar was second out. 11th came Bobby Lashley, who eliminated Carlito kind of by accident because he was trying to hit Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross moved and Carlito got the brunt of it. But then Bobby Lashley got his man and eliminated Karrion Kross with after a spear. This brought AOP out a bit late. They were stopped by 2 female referees who they clearly couldn't get past because those 2 female referees are also like 6'6" grots like AOP are. But then Karrion Kross did the old, you know, heel eliminates a babyface. I assume Lashley's supposed to be a babyface again already. From the outside, like pulls him to the outside and eliminates him. So then AOP and Kross attacked Bobby Lashley. Then the Street Profits came out and they fought to the back. And I put 3v3 Elimination Chamber, please. Those used to be on the games. I really love the concept of like 6 men in pods, random entry order, but it's 2 teams of 3. And you're going to end up outnumbered at certain points. So you could end up as much as 3v1 for a bit. I think that would be a really fun match concept. Do it, WWE, you cowards. It'd be a perfect feud to do it with, to be honest. Out 12th, Ludwig Kaiser. Nothing to say here. apparently he's very polite. Out 13th, Austin Theory. Out 14th, Finn Balor, who eliminates Carmelo Hayes because he was trying to eliminate Dom. So Finn Balor saved Dom and eliminated Hayes. Out 15th was Cody Rhodes with Pyro, and I put maybe my Punk prediction was bad. Like, he got Pyro during a Royal Rumble entrance. Like, he's obviously winning. Cody came in and eliminated Austin Theory, who's the 7th one to go. 16th in, I should say, was Bronson Reed, who did some Strong Boy stuff, and then eliminated Andrade, who was the 8th one eliminated. 17th was Kofi Kingston. He came in and did Kofi Kingston things. Cody hit a crossroads on Nakamura, who was on the apron, and Nakamura kind of bounced off the middle rope into the outside, so that was a fun elimination for Nakamura to go 9th. Now, Kofi Kingston hit this weird Trouble in Paradise off a springboard. It looked quite cool, though, to eliminate Ludwig Kaiser, who was out on the apron when he got kicked in the mush, and was 10th eliminated. Out immediately as Kaiser was eliminated was Gunter, who berated Kaiser a bit, came in, chopped everyone, slammed Bronson Reed, and eliminated Kofi Kingston, who's got an IC title match apparently tonight on Raw, so that'll be fun. No Rumble magic from Kofi. I think he screwed it up the last few years, so I don't know if they just were like, you know what, that's run its course, let's not do it. It was a weird looking elimination, though. I feel like there was maybe supposed to be something and it just got screwed up. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. But I think they just need to let the Kofi elimination escapes be like folklore at this point. Replay them. Because the new ones are never working. Like, they've not worked for years. Out 19th was Ivar, out 20th was Braun Breaker, who apparently has been timed hitting the ropes at 23 miles an hour, which is obscene. So thanks for that fun fact commentary. Braun Breaker eliminated Jimmy Uso, then Finn Balor, got into a confrontation with Gunter, and came out on top with a spear. I would be here for Braun Breaker versus Gunter for the IC title, and I'd be here for Braun Breaker to end the reign as well. Honestly, I think that'd be a great way to fully introduce him to the main roster. Out next was Omos, the giant white Power Ranger. His outfit, like, until he took the white top thing off, he just looked like the white Power Ranger, the original one. He got quite a rubbish elimination on Bronson Reed. I put lame elimination on Reed. I can't remember exactly. I think he like big booted him, and Bronson Reed tried to do the thing where they like launched themselves over the top rope, but kind of got a bit stuck, and then almost kind of had to help him over. I remember it being Reed that didn't do his bit quite right, so almost like helped it out. And then Braun Breaker hit a spear on Ivar and eliminated him. So that's half the field gone now, by the way. Ivar was number 15 to be eliminated. Omos and Braun Breaker squared up, and then Pat McAfee's music hit for number 22, who was somewhat trepidatious, shall we say, and rightly so. And he got in the ring, he climbed up and over the top rope onto the apron, hinting that he was going to eliminate himself, then climbed back in and sort of went to run at them, and then thought better of it, climbed back over the top rope and just dropped down and eliminated himself. It was pretty funny. Like, the crowd actually booed it, but it was pretty funny, and it put over the two guys that he would have had to fight. Like, why would Pat McAfee... Like, I know he's a natural athlete and he's wrestled before, but he's been out of the ring for that long. He's just here as a commentator. Why would he want to fight those men? Why would he want to fight Braun Breaker and Omos? Like, why? So, I didn't mind it. I quite liked it. Yeah, it's a bit of a wasted spot someone else could have had. Like, the 20-second number could have been for someone else, but, you know, they always have some silly stuff to break up the, you know, the length of a Royal Rumble match, and this was fine. Then he got back a commentary and said, how big is that thing in there? Which, oh, amazing. Like, Pat McAfee was putting Omos over huge. And then Braun Breaker eliminated Omos during the countdown to the next elimination. And then Dominic Mysterio eliminated Braun Breaker. So I really hope he does turn up on Raw, wipe the floor with Dominic Mysterio, and then take the IC title off Gunther. That is my fantasy booking for Braun Breaker up to WrestleMania. Please. Please and thank you. Out 23rd was JD McDonough, who got speared by Braun Breaker on the way to the ring. So yeah, please bring Braun Breaker up and put him against Judgment Day. Like, come on, like Braun Breaker, Judgment Day, into Gunter. Thank you, please and thank you. Take my money. 24th was R-Truth. Great detail that it was the same number that he came out during the Women's Rumble. So he got his number and just got the wrong Rumble, which I thought was really fun. He comes out, he throws JD into the ring, who gets eliminated by Jey Uso. That's 19 gone. And then R-Truth gets into the corner and tries to get the hot tag from Dominic Mysterio. And Dom eventually does hot tag him. Truth comes in, starts hitting the John Cena 5 moves of doom on Gunter, which, by the way, Gunter was the perfect person to do this to, because Gunter is so serious, and it just worked even better because it was Gunter. Cody Rhodes is sat in the corner, loving it, by the way. This was just amazing. I love R-Truth. I said it before in the video, I'll say it again. He is a treasure and must be protected. I love that man. Unfortunately, as R-Truth went for the 5-knuckle shuffle and got confused and hit the wrong ropes, Gunter got up and kicked him in the face. But yeah, I just love R-Truth. Miz was out on number 25, hit a very nice tilt-a-whirl DDT on Gunter. Where was he hiding that? My goodness, that was really nice, honestly. And then tried to eliminate Dom, and R-Truth made the save because he still thinks he's in Judgment Day. Damian Priest comes out next and just flattens R-Truth and eliminates him. So yeah, cement Judgment Day as heels, because they're getting a bit too endearing because of all the R-Truth stuff. Like the bits where they play along, the crowd love it. So yeah, I like that. It was good, effective like heel booking. 27th, lucky number 27, as it used to be before the number 30 spot overtook, was CM Punk, who comes in, cleans house, celebrates, and then Dominic Mysterio tried to eliminate him. Punk reversed it, gave Dominic the stink eye for a second, like intimidated him, then eliminated him. Bye, Dom, thanks for coming. Out next was Ricochet, who was dressed up like the Green Power Ranger. I think intentionally this one. I think this one was more cosplay-y. But I put in my notes, Ricochet and Omos, the Tommies, because obviously the original green/white Power Ranger was called Tommy, right? Like, would you like to see that on EBEZAsimsgames? Who can beat the Tommies? Like, let me know. It was the wrong way round though, because obviously Tommy was able to giantify himself when he was the Green Ranger, so Omos should be the green one, like, to be honest, and Ricochet should then just be the White Ranger, because, you know, they're the Tommies. But yeah, I think that'd be really fun. Book it, WWE, you cowards. Gunther eliminated Miz with a chop off the top rope. Like, Miz was sat on the top rope and Gunther just chopped him to the outside. So that was fun. That was 22nd out, was the Miz. Drew McIntyre was number 29. Coming in. Jey Uso tried to eliminate Gunther but was reversed and Jey got eliminated. Really good performance of Jey Uso. He was the Iron Man of this one. And then last but by no means least, Sami Zayn. First time we've seen him since he got beaten up by Drew McIntyre on Raw. So, hell yeah, happy to have Sami back. Drew McIntyre caught Ricochet trying to kick him. And then, you know the thing where he flips him over backwards and they basically do a moonsault and land on the front as a fun counter to that sort of kick? Well, he did that, but over the top rope, and Ricochet landed on the outside to be eliminated. Really fun spot. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. So that's Ricochet out, 24th. And then Sami Zayn eliminates Damian Priest. But then that was quickly followed by Drew McIntyre eliminated Sami Zayn. So we get a final four of CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and Gunter. What a final four, honestly. I feel like both final bits were really good. I'd say if anyone felt like a weak link between the final 7 between the two Rumbles, it is Liv Morgan. But at the end of the day, she is also a former women's champion, and it was a big comeback, and she was entered number 30, so I totally understand her being there. And it seems like they've got big plans for her, even if it is to just get squashed by Jade Cargill. But but nonetheless, yeah, I'm a big fan of the final 4 in the men's and the final 3 in the women's, to be honest. Where was I up to? Oh, so we ended up with Drew and Gunter having a chopping contest on CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, respectively. And then McIntyre, a bit later, wiped everyone out with Claymores. But then Punk kind of just, when he went to hoist Punk to go and eliminate him, Punk lifted him up onto his shoulders and just didn't GTS him, just dumped him out the ring over the top rope and eliminated him, which kind of surprised me. I thought it was going to be a GTS, and it was just like suddenly eliminated. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, that was McIntyre out, 27th. Gunter put Cody Rhodes onto the apron. He like did like the belly to back suplex lift, but then walked forwards and dumped him onto the apron. But then Cody kind of gripped a headlock and dragged Gunther out, and for the second year in a row, eliminated him. Just with a headlock takeover. Hi MJF, how you doing? So the final two are my 50-50 predictions that I wasn't sure about. CM Punk, who I predicted, and Cody Rhodes, who at this point I firmly believed was winning. So yeah, I didn't change my official prediction. I still officially predicted CM Punk. I am owning that. I just want you to know, as I was watching, I was convinced that Cody was winning at this point. Ever since his entrance, to be honest. You don't give that man pyro and then he doesn't win. I'm sorry, you just don't. So, yeah, I even put in my notes, I wish I predicted Cody. The final two mini-match was good. Like, I enjoyed it. Maybe not the best mini-match of all time, but certainly not a bad one. In terms of Royal Rumble final two, I did enjoy it. Punk hit a pedigree at one point, which the history between both men and Triple H, between Punk and Triple H and all the animosity there, and then all the throne smashing with sledgehammers that Cody Rhodes did and stuff like that. Like, that was fun. That was a fun little tidbit to throw in for the, for the fans who pay attention to that kind of stuff. I enjoyed that. They each hit their finisher. I think Cody hit the Crossroads first, and Punk hit a GTS, but neither was like healthy enough to capitalize. They kind of both collapsed after hitting their own finisher. Then Cody countered another GTS attempt and just threw Punk out. Like, just gripped him and just launched him. And it was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that to be when the finish came. Like, so, yeah, it was a good surprise finish, to be honest. And I knew it, but unfortunately I predicted Punk, so 3 out of 4. And so, here's the thing. It makes sense, because if you take The Rock out of the equation for a second and just place The Rock over here and just have faith that Triple H isn't going to screw the story up just for the sake of The Rock. The Rock could take on Roman Reigns at the Chamber at WrestleMania Night 1 and have Cody main event Night 2. Like, there's ways around it. But if you take The Rock out of the equation for a second, it is easier to get to Punk versus Rollins, because they're both on Raw, without Punk winning the Rumble, than it is to get to Rhodes Reigns without Cody winning the Rumble. Do you get what I mean? Because they're on the wrong show. So yeah, I should have predicted Cody. I should have seen that. But yeah, such is life. Anyway, that's me. That's me done. I finally finished my review. It's been a long one, but I hope you enjoyed. Phrasing. So leave a like if you enjoyed this review. Let me know your thoughts on the show overall and any answers to any questions I asked throughout in the comment section. It'd be greatly appreciated if you would subscribe as well and share this review with your friends. Why not? But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been EBEZA, you've been amazing, and I'll see you next time.